and I am back with the fifth video lecture on the chapter solutions. So in the previous lectures we have studied about the concentration terms, the various terms which are used to determine the concentration, or you can see the amount of solute present in the solution. So now in this lecture we will study about the type of solutions, In the previous classes or junior classes, you used to think that only the things prepared in water are called as solution. But I have told you in the first lecture also, solutions can be solid solutions also, liquid solutions also, and gaseous solutions also. Okay. So a solution is made up of two components. You all know a solution is made up of two components. One is solute, which is present in lesser quantity, and the second one is solvent, which is present in higher quantity. Solute plus solvent combine together to make a solution. Okay. So when you combine solute plus solvent, for example, when you dissolve this sugar in water, so sugar is in solid state. So you will say that the phase of the solute is solid. In case of sugar plus water, sugar is in solid state, so the phase of solute is solid, and solvent, that is water, is in liquid state, so the phase of solvent is liquid. But when you make a solution from sugar and water, the sugar dissolves and only one phase is there, and that is liquid phase. So you see that in the making of solution, the solute loses its phase. Phase means solid, liquid or gas. In the making of solution, the solute loses its phase, whereas the solvent maintains its phase. This is a very important point. While when we will make solutions, the solute will lose its phase. Sugar will not be solid now, it will get dissolved. But the solvent, that is water will retain its phase and be in the liquid state only. Clear? So in the solutions, solute loses its phase when solute plus solvent makes solution. Solute loses its phase while the solvent retains the phase. Solid retains the phase. Solid retains the phase. Okay. So this was the basic information about the solution. Two components, solute, solvent. When they will combine, solution will be formed. In the formation of solution, solute will lose its phase, while the solvent will retain its phase. Now we will discuss about the solutions. There are three types of solutions: solid solutions, liquid solutions, and gaseous solutions. Three types of phase will be there. Three types of solutions will be there. One are solid solutions. The second type of solutions are liquid solutions. And the third type of solution will be gaseous solutions. So we will study today one by one all the three type of solutions. Clear? So write it down, and we will begin with the solid solutions. Okay. So solid solutions. Okay. So to remember the solutions well, I will make a table. According to the table, we also learn. The first part of the table will be solute, the phase of solute, then solvent, then solute and solvent will combine to form solution, and then I will give you example. Clear? So in solid solutions, solvent is always a solid. Solid and solid. In the solid solution, solvent will always be a solid. Solid solution, solvent will always be a solid. Solute can be solid, first case, can be liquid, second type, and third can be gas. Okay. So when solid plus solid, solute is also solid, solvent is also solid, they will combine together. So what would be the phase of solution, or you can say what would be the physical state of solution? Solute will lose its state and solvent will retain its state. So the phase of the solution will be solid. Here also solute is liquid, solvent is solid. So solvent retains its phase. So the solution will be solid. Gas plus solid. Solute loses its phase whereas solid retains its phase. So solution will be in which phase? Solid phase. So here you have come to know these are solid solutions. These can be of three types: solid in solid, liquid in solid, or gas in solid. Clear? Now I will give you example of these three type of solid solutions. That is solid in solid solution, liquid in solid solution, and gas in solid solution. So solid in solid, the best example are alloys. You have heard of alloys. For example, brass. Brass is made of two metals, copper plus zinc. Clear? This 24 karat gold, that is made up of 22 parts of gold and 2 parts of copper. So when two metals means solid, when two metals combine together to form alloys, that is example of solid in solid solutions. Getting my point? All the alloys are the example of solid solutions. Example, brass. Brass is made up of copper plus zinc. Clear? One example is enough. Now the second type of solid solution, that is liquid in solid. Liquid in a solid. Liquid in solid. So try to remember one example. Liquid in solid. Liquid in solid. You may have heard of amalgams of mercury. Amalgams of mercury. Amalgam of mercury, you understand? The solutions which mercury make with the other elements or substances that are known as amalgams. Solutions of mercury are known as amalgams. There are various types of amalgams are there. For example, mercury plus copper. Mercury is in liquid state, copper is a solid. So when mercury and copper will combine together and form a solution, that will be the example of liquid in solid solution, and solutions of mercury are called as amalgams. So we can say that amalgam of copper and mercury. Amalgam. Mercury is liquid. Amalgams of mercury, Ag. Amalgams of mercury means, for example, copper plus mercury. This is a solution between copper and mercury. So solutions of mercury are known as amalgams. So amalgams of mercury are the example of liquid in solid solutions, because mercury is in liquid state. Now the last example is gas in solid. Gas in solid. Okay. So there are various examples where gas is mixed in solid. For example, in the last chapter, you have in the last class, in the chapter hydrogen of class 11, you may have heard that the hydrogen gas is stored on the platinum surface. Hydrogen gas is stored on the platinum surface. Means hydrogen gas gets absorbed on the surface of the platinum, and there it is stored. And there it is stored because it is very difficult to store the gases. So hydrogen gas is stored because it gets absorbed, not absorbed, it gets absorbed on the surface of transition metals like platinum, palladium. So hydrogen is a gas, platinum, palladium are solids. So absorption of hydrogen on the surface of platinum or palladium can be the example of gas in solid solutions. So you can give the example: absorption of hydrogen gas on palladium, palladium surface. So these are the solid solutions. Remember, solid solutions mean the solvent will always be a solid. Solvent will always be a solid. Solute will vary. It may be solid, it may be liquid, it may be gas. Okay. In the beginning of the lecture, I told you when you combine solute plus solvent, solvent retains its phase. So the solution will be solid, solid, and solid. So these are solid solutions. I have given you examples also. Clear? Note it down. Now I will move toward the next, the second type of solutions, that are liquid solutions. Okay. So you can guess also that in a liquid solution the solvent will be liquid only. Now second type of solutions are there, that is liquid solutions. So in the liquid solutions the solvent will be liquid. solvent will always be liquid, liquid, liquid and liquid. Solute, like the previous case, can vary from solid, liquid and gas. Now, if the solvent is in liquid phase, liquid phase, liquid phase, then in the solution, only the phase of the solvent is retained. So the solution, what will be the phase of solution? That will always be, that will also be liquid, liquid and liquid. Now we have to give the examples. Understood? Now we are discussing liquid solutions. Liquid solutions means solvent will be liquid, liquid, liquid. Okay, solute can vary from solid, liquid and gas. Clear? So solution will take the phase of solvent only. So these all are liquid solutions. Clear? Now moving up to example, because after taking example, the things will get clarified in your head. So the first is solid in liquid. Solid in liquid. Give the example of a solid mixed in liquid. You have made many solutions out of, in your daily life, you come to know about many solutions in which solid is dissolved in liquid. Remember? Name one solution in which solid is dissolved in liquid. Very easy. When we dissolve sugar or salt in water, it is an example of solid dissolved into liquid. Sugar dissolved in water. Sugar is a solid, water is a liquid. So sugar dissolved in liquid is an example of solid in liquid. Getting a point? So example is sugar dissolved in water. Sugar dissolved in water is an example of solid in liquid solution. Second part, liquid in liquid. Liquid in liquid. In your daily life also you may experience many examples. For example, alcohol plus water, they get mixed up, a solution is made. So that is an example of liquid in liquid solutions. Getting a point? Alcohol and water can be mixed and a solution can be formed. Alcohol is in liquid phase, water is also in liquid phase. So the solution is liquid in liquid solution. So example can be alcohol plus water. Very easy. Now the third is gas in liquid. Gas in liquid. Okay. So this is also very common example. Gas in liquid. You may have heard oxygen dissolved in seawater. Oxygen dissolved in water. Oxygen is a gas. Water is a liquid. So that is example of gas in liquid. Getting the point? Carbon dioxide is dissolved in this cold drinks. So carbon dioxide is a gas. Cold drink is in the liquid phase. So that is also example of gas in liquid. So you can say that, give the example, oxygen dissolved in water is an example of gas in liquid. Clear? So after solid solutions, the second type of solutions were liquid solutions, and we have discussed them also. Clear? So now we will move towards the third type of solutions, that are gaseous solutions. So in the gaseous solutions, the solvent will always be in the gaseous phase in the gaseous solutions. The third type of solutions are gaseous solutions. So in the gaseous solutions, the solvent will be in gaseous phase. Solvent will be a gas. Solvent will be a gas. And solute can be solid also. Solute can be solid also, liquid also, and gas also. Since in the solution take up the phase of solvent, so the solution will be gas, and gas. So these are the gaseous solutions. Now we will understand them better by taking the examples. Clear? For example, solid in gas. Okay. So there are many examples in which this solid is mixed in this gas. Solid is mixed in gas. For example, camphor. Camphor is a solid. It can make a solution with nitrogen gas. It can make solution with nitrogen gas. That can be example of solid in gaseous solutions. Or more relevant example, which you have seen in your daily life. When you burn this firewood, or when combustion of carbon compounds is there, So if the oxygen supply is not sufficient, then the unburnt particles move in the air. Then the unburnt carbon particles move in the air. Those are solid particles. They get mixed up in the air. Okay. So the carbon particles present in the air can be example of solid and gas. Clear? It is known as smoke. When these solid carbon particles are mixed in air, that is known as smoke. So smoke can be the example of solid in gas solutions. Then liquid in gas. You know this. Sometimes you feel humidity level is more. Okay. Sometimes humidity level is less. When the humidity level is more in the atmosphere, you feel this irritated. A lot of sweat comes. Clear? So humidity means water vapors are present in more quantity. More humidity means water vapors are present in more quantity in the air. Okay. If water vapors are present in less quantity in air, humidity is less. If water vapors are present in higher quantity in air, humidity on that day is more. Clear? So humidity can be the example of liquid mixed in gas. Humidity means water vapors in air. Water vapors are liquid, and this gas is air. So humidity can be the example of H2O plus air, or you can say humidity can be the example of liquid in gas solutions. Now the third is gas in gas. Very common example. In our atmosphere, a lot of gases are present together forming a gaseous solution. Okay, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, helium, they all are mixed up together in our atmosphere. So that is a very easy example for gas in gas solution. That is air. Air is a composition of various gases mixed together. So air can be an example of gaseous solutions. Getting a point? So we have studied 3 points, type of solutions: solid solution, liquid solution, gaseous solutions. So I want to tell you that in this chapter, the main focus will be on solution of gases in liquids and solution of solids in liquids. So solids in liquids. These two type of solutions we will be studying intensively. Okay. So this is the over from today. From in the next lecture we will study about this various laws related to the solubility of gases. So we have studied about the type of solutions, solid solutions, liquid solutions and gaseous solutions. I have told you that the solutions which we will study most in this chapter will be gas in liquid solutions and solid in liquid solutions. Clear? So I will tell you about the gases in liquid solutions, in which solute is gas and the solvent is liquid. Okay. In this, solute is gas and the solvent is liquid. We will study about the solutions of this type in detail. Okay. So when you make a gas in liquid solution, or when you dissolve a gaseous solute into liquid solvent, then there are many factors. Which affect these formation of these solutions. We will study all the factors one by one in details. Okay. So we will study all the factors one by one in detail. Clear? So we will study factors. Write it down with me. Factors affecting solubility of gaseous solute in. Factors affecting solubility of gaseous solute in liquid solvent. Okay. So we will study the factors which affect the formation of gas in liquid solutions. Okay. If you want to dissolve a gaseous solute in the liquid, then there are many factors which we will have to take care of. Okay. So that it will help in the formation of the solution well. Okay. So the first factor which affects is nature of the gas. Nature of the gas. Okay. So if gas is polar. You may have heard polar dissolves polar. Yeah, like attracts like. So there are two components here. One is liquid and one is gas. If gas and liquid, if solute and solvent both are polar, then the gas will get easily dissolved in the liquid and the solution will be formed easily. But if their phases are different, for example, if gas is non-polar and liquid is polar, so it will be difficult to dissolve the gas in the liquid. Okay, so solubility of gas in that case will be less. For example, if polar gas, you know polar, what is polar? The substances in which charge separation is there, plus minus both are there, that are known as polar substances. Similarly, polar gas is a gas in which charge separation is there. Polar gas gets easily dissolved in polar solvent. Polar gas gets easily dissolved in polar solvent. Getting a point? Polar gas gets easily dissolved in polar solvent. For example, if HCl gas, HCl you don't consider it as a liquid, HCl is a gas also, vapors of HCl, okay, it is in the gaseous phase, okay. So HCl is a polar gas. Why? Plus minus, so it is a polar gas, HCl gas is a polar gas, it gets easily dissolved, gets easily dissolved in water, gets easily dissolved in water. Why? Because hydrogen is plus minus, it is a polar solvent, it is polar and it is also polar. So if the gas and the liquid both are polar, then solubility of gas in that liquid increases. Okay, clear? HCl gas is more soluble in water as compared to oxygen and hydrogen gases. Oxygen and hydrogen gases, oxygen and hydrogen gases, they are non-polar, no charge separation is there. Okay, oxygen and hydrogen gases, they are non-polar. Okay, so they are not much soluble. They are not much soluble. They are not much soluble in water. They are not much soluble in water. Why? Because if gaseous solute is polar and solvent is also polar, both are polar, then they get easily dissolved. But if one is polar, other is non-polar, so the solubility decreases. So the nature of the gas also matters. Okay, polar gas gets easily dissolved in polar solvent. Okay, non-polar gas gets easily dissolved in non-polar solvent. For example, this oxygen and hydrogen, they can get easily dissolved in non-polar solvents like benzene and carbon tetrachloride. So nature of the gas matters when we will see the solubility of gas in a liquid. Clear? Okay, this was the first factor which affects the solubility of a gas in liquid. Okay, now we will move towards the next factor, that is temperature. That is temperature. Temperature. Now the second factor on which the solubility of a gas in liquid depends is temperature. Okay. So temperature also affects the solubility of a gas in liquid. Getting a point? For example, solubility of a gas in liquid means, I will explain you. For example, this is liquid. Okay, this is liquid and these are gaseous molecules. This is liquid and these are gaseous molecules. Okay, so we have to dissolve these gaseous molecules. These are gaseous molecules, this is liquid. So we have to dissolve these gaseous molecules in this water or in this liquid. Okay, so if you will increase the temperature, then the kinetic energy of these gaseous molecules will increase and they will move away from the liquid. Okay, so if you will increase the temperature, the kinetic energy of the gaseous molecule will increase and solubility will decrease, because solubility means going down in the liquid. But in increasing the temperature is taking them away from the liquid. Getting kinetic energy, they will move out. They will try to move out. They will not come down. They will move up after kinetic energy. So when you will increase the temperature, the kinetic energy of the gaseous molecule will increase and their solubility in liquid will decrease. Their solubility in liquid will decrease. So, temperature is directly proportional to kinetic energy. This is a symbol of directly proportional. Temperature is directly proportional to kinetic energy of the gaseous molecules, and if kinetic energy of the gaseous molecule will increase, their solubility will decrease. So, it is inversely proportional to what? Temperature. So, when you will increase the temperature, the solubility of a gas in liquid will decrease. The solubility of a gas in liquid will decrease. When you will increase the temperature, the solubility of gas in liquid will decrease. Okay. So, temperature and solubility are inversely proportional to each other. Keep this in mind. Clear? Now, the third factor on which solubility of a gas in liquid depends is pressure. The third factor is pressure. Okay. The third factor is pressure. Suppose you apply more pressure. Now it is the case we are studying for pressure. Suppose you apply more pressure, okay, on the gaseous molecules. If the pressure on the gaseous molecule is increased, then they will go down in the liquid solvent. If the pressure will increase, then what happens with the pressure? Suppose there are 100 molecules. There are 100 molecules in a box. Okay, gaseous molecule in a box. So they are far apart from each other. But when you apply pressure on them, they come together. They come together and can be easily dissolved. Getting my point? So when you will increase the pressure, the gaseous molecule will go down in the solvent. This gaseous molecule will go down in the solvent after increasing the pressure. So pressure is directly proportional to the solubility of the gas. Getting the point? Pressure is directly proportional to the solubility of gas. Pressure is directly proportional to the solubility of a gas in liquid. Pressure is directly proportional to the solubility of a gas in liquid. Okay. So when you drink this cold drinks, so when you open the cold drink, so the bubbles come out and a gas comes out. That gas is carbon dioxide. Okay. To increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in the cold drink, the gas is filled at a very high pressure, because more the pressure, more gas can be dissolved in the cold drink. Okay. That's why this is the daily example. Carbon dioxide is filled at a very high pressure, because at more pressure the carbon dioxide will be filled. The more carbon dioxide can be dissolved in the solvent. Okay, in the cold drink. So pressure is directly proportional to solubility of a gas. More the pressure, more the solubility of a gas. More the temperature, less the solubility of a gas. Okay. So this third point in factors affecting this solubility of gases, the third point is very, very important, that is pressure. Okay. To study the relation between the pressure and solubility of a gas in liquid, a law was given by Henry. That law is known as Henry's law. We will study the Henry law now. So these three factors: nature of the gas, polar, okay, temperature inversely proportional to solubility, pressure directly proportional to solubility. Now we will study Henry's law. Henry's law. Okay. We will study the Henry's law. Henry law was given by Henry, and it is based on the solubility of a gas in liquid. And the effect of pressure on the solubility of a gas in liquid. This is liquid. This is gas. Okay. This is liquid. This is gas in a container. We have to mix this gas in the liquid. Okay. So what Henry said? Henry said that solubility of a gas in liquid depends upon the pressure exerted by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid. Write it down. I will explain you. The basic statement of Henry law is pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid is directly proportional to the solubility of that gas. Is directly proportional to the solubility of that gas. Now look at the figure clearly. I have told you, more the pressure, more the gaseous molecule will get dissolved in the liquid. So solubility will increase. So pressure applied by the gaseous molecules is more. If these gaseous molecules apply more pressure on the liquid surface, then more of them will get dissolved and solubility will increase. If the pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the liquid surface is less, so a lesser number of gaseous particles will dissolve in the solvent and solubility will be less. So solubility of a gas in liquid directly depends upon the pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid. Pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid. More the pressure applied by these gaseous molecules, more of them will get dissolved in the solvent and the solubility of gas in liquid will increase. Repeating, more the pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid in which they have to dissolve. Okay, more the pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the surface of the liquid, more molecules will get dissolved and hence solubility will increase and hence solubility will increase. Getting the point? So the statement of the Henry's law is partial pressure. Partial pressure means you have studied in the last class also. If there are three gases A, B, C, okay, in a solution and all of them form vapors, okay, so the pressure applied by the vapors of gas A will be different. Pressure applied by the vapors of gas B will be different. Pressure applied by the vapors of gas C will be different. Okay. So partial pressure means individual pressure. Partial pressure means individual pressure applied by the various gaseous molecules. Okay. Partial pressure means pressure of my vapors, pressure of gas A, pressure of gas B. Total pressure means pressure applied by vapors of gas A, vapors of gas B, vapors of gas C. Partial pressure means individual pressure applied by each gas is known as partial pressure of that gas. Okay. So Henry's law is like that. The basic statement: more the pressure applied by the gaseous molecules on the solvent, more will be the solubility of that gas in that solvent. Okay. So we can write it down that as solubility of a gas. Solubility of a gas in liquid. Solubility of a gas in liquid. Solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional. Solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure. Partial pressure means individual pressure of the gas. Solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure applied by the molecules of the gas. Solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure applied by the molecules of the gas on the surface of liquid. On the surface of liquid. This is the statement for Henry's law. If the partial pressure applied by the gaseous molecules is more on the liquid surface, the solubility will be more. If the partial pressure applied by these gaseous molecules on this liquid surface is less, then the solubility of this gaseous molecule will be less. So the solubility of a gas directly depends upon the partial pressure applied by the gas molecules on the surface of the liquid. More the pressure, more of them will get dissolved and solubility will be more. So this is the statement of Henry's law. Okay. So write it down. Now we'll move towards this mathematical form. This form of this Henry's law. Mathematical form of this Henry's law. Okay. So solubility means number of gaseous solute present in liquid. Solubility means what? Number of gaseous solute present in liquid solvent. Solute in solvent. What is this? This is the concentration. Concentration means amount of solute present in solution or solvent is concentration. So we have to, in place of solubility, we have to use a concentration term. Okay. So in this case, when Henry was making this law, was working on this law, so he used the concentration term mole fraction. Okay. So he may have used molarity, normality, weight by weight, anything, but he have used in his theories, he has used the mole fraction as the concentration term. Solubility means number of solute in solvent. So it is the concentration. So to determine the solubility, we have to use the concentration term, and that concentration term Henry has taken as mole fraction. Okay. So he said pressure applied by the gaseous molecule on the surface of the liquid is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas in liquid. Mole fraction of the gas in liquid. Okay. Mole fraction means number of moles present in the liquid. So if the mole fraction is more, it means the pressure applied would have been more. So that the mole fraction has become more. So that the mole fraction has become more. Getting my point? Mole fraction of the gas in liquid is more. It means gaseous solute has dissolved in larger quantity. So how is it possible? If the pressure would have been more, so if the mole fraction of the gas in the liquid is more, it means the pressure applied by the gas on the liquid is also more. So pressure applied, the partial pressure applied by the gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Higher the mole fraction means higher would have been the pressure applied by the gas. Got the point? So pressure. So when always whenever you remove this what you say proportionality sign, there is a constant comes. Always there is a constant comes. Now what do you mean by constant? Why constant comes? It means when you will increase the pressure on the pressure of the gas on the liquid, its mole fraction will increase. Its mole fraction will increase. After increasing the pressure of the gas on the liquid, the mole fraction will also increase. But how much it would increase? For example, if you increase the pressure 1 atmosphere, so how much mole fraction will increase? Okay. So for the numerical portion, to set up the direct link, we use the terms constant. We use the terms constant whenever we remove this proportionality sign. So when you remove proportionality sign, a constant comes by the name of Kh. Kh. This constant is known as Henry's constant. This constant is known as Henry's constant. Henry's constant. This constant is known as Henry's constant. Getting my point? So this is known as Henry constant. This is known as Henry's constant, and now we will study, after this we will study the graph between pressure and mole fraction. Graph between pressure and mole fraction. You have studied in mathematics, you have studied an equation y is equal to mx. You have studied this equation y is equal to mx. So here y is partial pressure, x is mole fraction, and m is kh. So we can make a graph here. A graph can be made. A graph can be made. A graph can be made, that is, in place of y, we will write partial pressure. This is y-axis. Y-axis we will write partial pressure. On the x-axis we will write mole fraction. We will write mole fraction, and kh, m means slope. So slope is given by kh. Slope is given by kh. Slope is given by kh. So this was the Henry's law. This was the Henry's law which studied the solubility of a gas in liquid. Solubility of a gas in liquid. Okay, got the point? So this is over from tomorrow's. This was the 5th video lecture. The solution. Be with me. Yesterday I have given you some numerical problems also, and after doing this, a lot of numerical problems will be given to you for solving. I will also give you the questions. I will solve the questions of JEE NEET also. So be with me, complete the chapter, then we will work on the numerical problems. Thank you. Keep studying. Don't waste the time. This lockdown is there. Don't have that type of studies. You are in the home. I am working hard on you to study well. Okay. Any doubts? You can message me anytime. Okay.